for hanging out with me and watching the cast this evening. I appreciate everyone who stops on by. I appreciate all those follows, and I hope you come back for more of my shoutcast. And we'll be having Ziltoid ready to go, hopefully, pretty soon.
I'm here already.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I didn't hear you actually jump in. So, first off, it's kind of awkward to say congratulations, but congratulations on the win for the second game.
Yeah.
And how do you guys feel after that series?
Especially the second game was pretty hype. We really had to pull it out of the fire there. It's kind of demoralizing to some extent when you're walking into the third bot objective, which traditionally ends the game down 20 tier because of the Vikings,
Yeah,
and keeping your composure enough to be able to siege it down, use the items appropriately, find the kills after the fact, then be able to re-engage on the other side of the map. Was just a really intense sequence of events, and really happy we clutched that out because it got real hairy at the end of that. But game number one we felt like we had a lot of control over the most of the game, but just our two kind of faded keep pushes and the bot and the top kind of nailed it in the coffin for us. They were able to get those kills off of the retreat, and then we might have still been okay, but me getting picked on that last part bot because of that rotation by Decker Kane, which was fantastic, really kind of allowed them to open up the win conditions. So good team, very organized. They definitely came in with game plans,
hmm
and I was a fun match. That's how you want to start a season, I think.
yeah. Those were some interesting games, especially because they obviously had untraditional picks between the TLV and the Murky, and it was definitely I could feel in my heart, like oh man, you guys just threw on the core after that sequence of events, but nonetheless, I guess you can walk away with your head high, knowing like, well, we didn't like get stomped that game. We know exactly what we did wrong, and we can fix that in future.
Yeah, exactly. There's other stuff we're still working on. Like we worked really hard to get our last like feint to parry. We picked up on a random team league match after
Wow.
we'd lost our solo lane potential, who just disappeared off me on randomly. So like, the fact that we've been able to bring him in and he plays the role so well was actually a fantastic turn of events. So we're still working out what works well with our team, but expect us to come hard at every single team we're playing. We're playing a lot, we're scrimming a lot. We really want to take this division.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you guys had a great draft for the Vikings in game number two. Like I was basically saying, up until like I guess the last moment where it became, what was it, like 18-20. I was like, oh no, this is like a game winning protector here. But you guys chunked the shit out of that protector. It basically became, we got to keep and we got nothing else out of it.
Yeah, Tychus seems to have a pretty good counter protector capability. If you can keep him alive,
Yep.
sieging into that, especially once he has Odin up, is always going to be a problem. We were kind of humming over another particular pick in that situation, but given just the really aggressive kill comp they took, which they played fantastically, that 4-man really made things difficult for us.
hmm
If they had it, we were pretty nervous, but I think in the end, yeah, the picking up the Tychus at the end was exactly what we needed to finish up the draft. And luckily, we were able to overcome the experience deficit and snatch it out versus the Vikings. I'm really relieved that it's very unlikely we're going to be facing Vikings any further into this division. So, kudos to them for such a well played match. It was really fun. I had a lot of fun out of it.
I mean, the match was definitely really good. I thought both teams were showing like good macro, and which is like very impressive for this division too. Like this is Division D, and I'm seeing what you would often see from like Division A teams, even in macro, or Division B teams in macro. So like
Yeah.
both teams are showing like they're punching way above what the division says that they are.
Well, shout out to the Murder and the Regen boys. Like him and Red, the manager, has done a lot to give us good, consistent scrims against challenging components, which I think has helped us be able to level up. We've been able to get consistent scrims versus specific teams that have helped, I think, us kind of come together as a group. Reborn Knights Black is another one that's done a lot with us too as well. So them and the Regen squad, like they're just wonderful to work with, and they've done us a lot of good, I think.
So I see Raven X typing in chat 12 hours a week,
Yeah.
slave
Yeah.
driver. So that's a quite a chunk of time you guys are putting in too.
I want to be competitive. My team, I expect nothing less from my team,
So
and they performed tonight.
this is a interesting question. I noticed you asked me to give Raven X the captain. So is Raven X actually drafting for you guys, and you're doing shot calling?
He is the primary shot caller,
Hmm.
and we collectively work on the drafts with
Okay.
Raven X with the final say on it. So for the most part, I handle the team dynamic, things like that, the scheduling, the matches, and and kind of help as well on with my long experience because as you yeah you and I have known each other for quite a while actually since lit back in the day. I don't know if you remember me very much, but I was on Lit AF with
Yep.
Digiboss and some of the others. So like, I've been in the scene for a while. So having Ravenex in there as well, who's been there just as long, we've got a lot of experience on the front side of things, and Snowglare's been in the scene for quite a while too as well. So we've got a lot of experience to pull off of. We've got some good coaches. Both shout out to John Knight One and Richie B. Both of them have been helping us a lot in those areas. But yeah, primarily it's shot calls are Raven X on the map, and then we kind of all look at what we want to do for drafting with him having the final say.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think obviously you guys have really good um, synergy based on how you executed your comps. And obviously there's like some minor like decision making, which I think as a team it's better to be a riskier team than kind of scared to make those risky plays that can win you games. And it showed in
Yep.
the last game. Obviously, you made the risky call of like, well, we think we can close out this game, and you made the call to close out the game, and you obviously did it.
We did it on both maps, but unfortunately, we misread the situation on the top push on Cursed Hollow that led to our downfall. Those are but if you don't take the opportunities, you're never going to get them. So, our kind of approach to everything is you don't shoot, you don't score. You have to take don't be afraid, don't play scared. If you do all those things, that already in a mentality side of things puts you behind the other team.
Yeah, it's essentially you miss every shot you don't take kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, congratulations to you guys for putting on a great series in game one, and definitely, you know, I'd say you kept the game very, very close throughout it. Between like getting the objective multiple times, putting a lot of structure pressure on them, even though they had the XP kind of situation under control, it became a very interesting dynamic where
46,000 experience on those Vikings.
yeah, exactly. Like the dynamic was
Insane.
they got all the XP and you guys got all the structures up until
Yeah,
like the very end of the game.
exactly.
So, would you like to give any shout outs before we head off?
Yeah, shout out to my team, Planet Smashers. I'm glad we came together and we're working so well together. We just got to keep trucking forward and work on those minor things that we're doing wrong. And hopefully, the next time we meet Rainbow Spectrum, who I'm also shouting out in here in the playoffs, we'll be able to maybe be a little bit more decisive. But shout out to them. They gave us a wonderful match, no less than I kind of expected. But it was tons of help. Shout out to you for casting, and then the
Oh, thank
NGS
you.
community in full. Shout out specifically to Mongoose as well. He did a lot as the Div West moderator. He kind of helped me get through the issues I was having roster wise to the lead up to the season, and I really appreciate the work he put in there. Same thing with Red, the manager for Regen. They've just done a very good job of making sure that we're consistently playing against good competitive teams. And then just NGS in general. I'm happy to play in this league, and you'll see us again.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys, like how you progress through the season. So, thanks again for
Yeah,
the
thank you.
interview and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks so much. You too. Good night.
Good night.